I'm not sure how many people are actually going to view this Washington Post article, but I think it might get a couple of people talking. It's October 7th, 2022 by Karen Attiah, and it's an opinion post, so obviously there's no facts here. Kanye West, Herschel Walker, and the politics of toxic black men. Okay, you see, so basically, before I even start this, let's remember, gentlemen, yes, passport bros are winning. Get your passports, otherwise, this is what you're going to have to deal with. Just keep that in mind. Get your passports, get them now. I think it's $175, possibly $200 with your mailing fees and this, that, and other. Get your goddamn passports because otherwise, this is what you're going to have to deal with. So, that said, America seems to love tragic, toxic black men. This week, the dusty behavior of two of them in part. What is this fucking word, dusty? You know, what is that? Dusty behavior? These men, both of them, have more money than you do. But these men have more money than probably you and everybody you work with at that rag of a newspaper that is only fit for me to put in my bird cage for my canary to shit on. And you're calling them dusty? Especially Kanye West. I mean, despite the fact that they kicked his ass, the simple fact is he's still got more money than you. Herschel Walker, I know he's got whatever. You know, it's like, see, this is the sad thing. It's this triggering language. It's like I'm triggered. I got triggered a little. I got triggered. So anyway, dusty behavior of two of them in particular provides a sad look into the way that toxic. Oh, here we go. Here we go with that liberal bullshit you learned at your liberal arts college that you overpaid on your degree for, that you're probably still in debt for right now. You probably paid about $40,000 a semester. You're probably $100,000 in debt. And they taught you all this shit on campus. It's this toxic masculinity. Oh my God. Here we go. Gets rewarded in this country. Exhibit A. Kanye West. I first started paying attention to West because of his 2004 album College Dropout. That was back when Kanye was one of the conscious rappers who made it into the mainstream. One of his hit songs, It All Falls Down, took aim at the dangers of consumerism for black people, along with the perils of aiming for whiteness. He rapped, and for that paper, look how low we'll stoop. Even if you in a Benz, you're still a nigga in a coupe. Okay? I love everything about that album and that song in particular. Looking back, however, West seems to have been foretelling his own tragic fall from what he once was. Listen, lady, I don't think you understand what corporatism actually looks like. Basically, what it is all you have to do is basically have any talent whatsoever. You could be a fucking homeless man with a golden voice. And when these corporations see you and they decide to take you in, chances are you're already shining. But when they take you in, they do clean you up. But now you have to basically follow what they say. You have to follow their guidelines. It's a corporation most of the time. You have to follow their image requirements. You have to follow their moral codes. Every corporation is different. If you're in McDonald's, you got to wear the McDonald's shirt and you got to wear the McDonald's hat and all that stuff. If you're in Taco Bell, you got to wear the Taco Bell hat and Taco Bell shirt. You got to do what they basically tell you to do. Unfortunately, every now and then, and this has happened basically with every single black entertainer. It didn't matter if it was Richard Pryor. It didn't matter if it was Dave Chappelle. Eventually, what ends up happening is they've made enough money where they feel that they're free. And they think that, okay, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I'm going to kick this to the side. But the problem is, as soon as they do kick it to the side, that's when they realize, you know, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or they get to a point where, just like I believe it was Dave Chappelle said, it's like these people aren't laughing with me, they're laughing at me. And that causes them to always have some kind of shakeup where they say, nah, I'm going to quit. And either I'm just going to quit and leave or whatever it is, but they get tired of it after a while. Maybe Kanye West reached that point. West has now reached the pinnacle of access to the white fashion world, something he begged for publicly and pathetically. Now he had. No, wait, hold on. West has now reached the pinnacle of access to the white fashion world? It's like begging, pathetic. Listen, that's. You know what? Here, well, first of all, what you have to notice is she's using shame, blame, and explain tactics. She's using what Kevin Samuels called sign language: shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Because now keep in mind, while he's making his millions of dollars, you're at fucking Washington Post, okay? And the thing about it is, even if he loses all of his deals, he still has enough money where he has capital gains coming in, where he ain't got to show up to the Washington Post to write this trash and tripe. So anyway, now he has made it. And so what does he go and do? During a surprise fashion show for his line, Yeezy West and conservative black provocateur Candace Owens wore shirts that said White Lives Matter. Some of the models also walked the runway in White Lives Matter shirts. West then proceeded to post Black Lives Matter was a scam on his Instagram, causing an online furor. Now, before I continue reading, are you going to mention the fact that those two women who were taking in all this money were purchasing up real estate and they were buying this stuff for them and they were basically living like millionaires off of this money? Is that what you're going to do, or are you just going to not mention that? I don't know because I haven't read this yet. So we'll see. Let's see if she mentions why he would think that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I think one of them at least is under some form of indictment right now because of fraud. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what he thought. I don't know. Owens and West have this in common. They are black public figures in the business of providing a lot of shock value, but little substantive value. Ooh, okay. The stunts have been increasing in West's case, from his posing with Donald Trump in a Make America Great Again hat to his pronouncing that slavery was a choice. He has cyber-harassed ex-wife Kim Kardashian and aimed violent and menacing messages at Kardashian's ex-boyfriend Pete Davidson. When a black female editor at Vogue criticized his White Lives Matter shirt as violence on Instagram, West fired back, blasting her fashion choices. I would like to see what he said because I didn't hear about this up until now. The magazine issued a statement in her defense. I don't. Oh, okay. She didn't include the statement. The former now on to Exhibit B. Herschel Walker, the former NFL star, is now running as a Republican for the U.S. Senate in Georgia. It's well documented that the man says painfully dumb things that should be politically disqualifying. On climate change, he has observed that Georgia's good air could float over and replace China's bad air, which would need to be cleaned up before the air got back to Georgia. He has questioned evolution, asking, why are there still apes? Think about it. But there are far more serious issues with his candidacy. His ex-wife has said he abused her. Well, that's not that uncommon, especially this day and age, including holding a gun to her head. Didn't didn't George Floyd supposedly do that? Okay, Walker says that he suffered from dissociative identity disorder at the time and does not recall making any threats. This week, the Daily Beast reported, and it literally has receipts, that in 2009 he paid for an abortion for a former girlfriend. Walker has denied the allegation in the strongest possible terms, called the story a Republican hatchet job. Well, okay, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he had a dissociative identity disorder. Herschel didn't write that check. His alter ego, Bill, wrote that check. And Herschel may not have pointed a gun at his ex-wife. His alter ego, Timothy, pointed the gun at his ex-wife. So let's just give him the benefit of the doubt right there. Mental illness in America is real. Okay, his son, conservative social media influencer Christian Walker, also had something to say about the story. I know my mom, and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us. That kid is blue pill. That kid is a mama's boy, and he's saying all this stuff because he's a mama's boy. That's what it is. See, he's attacking Herschel. What he needs to do is attack Timothy or Bill. That's what he needs to do because he had a dissociative identity disorder. Okay, you're not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of. Well, you see, the kid is mad. The kid is mad that Herschel was getting it in, and the kid is angry because his mama is struggling or whatever it is, and she's out there. Now, first of all, this kid talking about all these abortions that Herschel Walker had, this kid is actually lucky to even be able to make these statements because he's actually there. So if I was this kid, I'd be like, you know what? I should just be thankful that I actually survived because all the rest of those failed pregnancies that were aborted and all that, it's like I wasn't in that. So if I was him, I'd be very, very thankful to still be here to make these comments. So anyway, are any of these scandals enough to be disqualifying? The answer is no. You know why? Because the Democrats have done such a shitty job that Herschel Walker stands a chance of winning. Will he win? I don't know. But that's not my fight. I live in New York City. My fight is Zeldin versus Hochul. I believe Hochul's going to win, but I'm showing my support for Zeldin. And it's not that I support Zeldin, it's that I don't want Hochul. And I'm basically casting a vote of no faith for Hochul. Now, as for this Herschel Walker versus Warnock, this is not my battle. If the people down there feel that Warnock is doing a good job, then they won't vote against him. But if the people down there are not happy with Warnock, they're going to vote against him. That's just how it works. That's politics. There are no permanent allies, only permanent interests. Okay. If I had my way, I would dismiss these two as clowns. Well, you don't have your way, okay? But America just makes them impossible to ignore. Well, no, the fact that one of them is running for public office and the fact that the other one's a multimillionaire at least makes them impossible to ignore. Not only that, the way this media is tuned, they're going to make sure that these men and all of their exploits stay in the front of your mind because that's just how the media works. This country loves to inundate us with coverage of black male figures embodying the archetype of the dumb, violent black servant eager to please the white masters. Well, I've always complained that the media never comes and talks to me. They never come and talk to the 850 credit score having YouTuber slash businessman slash, they don't talk to me. Why is it they never come talk to me? How many black people can you find got 850 credit score? Well, they never come here. So if you want to complain that they keep these men in the front of the media, then maybe you should complain and tell them to come here and interview me. So this way I can explain to the world how to get an 850 credit score. But you don't care about me. What you care about is the fact that they're out there doing what they're doing and you can't stop them. That's what you're mad about. But you're just a strag at this rag of a newspaper. That's what it is. I've written it before. I'll write it again, especially in our MAGA era. Anti-blackness and misogyny are profitable in America. See, notice how, now I want you to notice something. You just slide that misogyny in there. Just slide it in. Anti-blackness? Well, here's a question, since everybody's so anti-black. How many white supporters does Kanye West have? How many white supporters does Herschel Walker have? Because I'm pretty sure it's a lot. Herschel Walker has no chance of winning without white supporters. So how is that anti-black? But anyway, so much for cancel culture, right? No. First of all, that cancel culture bullshit is coming to an end. These liberals are on the run. We got Reverend Elon Musk just took over Twitter. And there are no more safe spaces. Not on Twitter. No, he just took over Twitter. Elon Musk, for what, you know what Elon Musk did that they didn't really talk about? Starlink, which is basically, a subsidiary right now. I don't know if Starlink's going to get a spin-off stock of its own. Starlink basically has satellite dishes, kind of like DirecTV, that make it easy for you to get internet just about anywhere in the world for the most part. From what I heard, Elon Musk turned off Starlink for soldiers on the battlefield over there in Russia versus Ukraine. Now, I know that Elon Musk had negative words with, I think it was Zelensky, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or they had some bad Twitter exchange or some shit like that. But the reality is, Elon Musk is going to make it so cancel culture is that much harder. And if you also think about it, Kanye West, maybe he was joking. Maybe he was talking about how he was going to buy Truth Social and everything. So I think we've reached a point where most of these celebrities and most of these super rich people, I think they've reached a point where they're like, wait a minute, fuck this techno-fascism shit. You're not going to silence me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the whole goddamn network. And then, just like Elon Musk, I'm going to buy Twitter, and then I'll be on Twitter. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. You can't say shit. You can't stop me. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think at some point Twitter cut off, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm mistaken, because I know Twitter cut off Trump's Twitter, and then they cut it off. The first time it was one person who did it, and then I think they fired that person. But I think the second time, that was when January 6th happened. They cut off his Twitter. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Elon Musk had gotten cited for something, or he had gotten suspended for something. I could be wrong. But Elon Musk was like, fuck that shit. I'm going to buy this whole goddamn network, and now I'll make the rules. Now, I got to respect that because, see, these conservatives, one of the things I hate about conservatives is they've always been whining that, like, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook has had a anti-conservative bent. My thing is, why don't you just make your own network, take that money, make your own network, and leave Facebook? That's it. Let the liberals have Facebook, and you go make your own thing. Or go make your own thing somewhere else. If you don't like YouTube, make your own network similar to YouTube. Pornhub did it. X-Hamster did it. It can't be that hard. But, that's just what it is. My thing is, stop complaining. It's like, if these people are giving you a hard time, fuck them. It's like, go your own way. But that's just what it is. So anyway, stores will carry his designs. He will be invited to the boardrooms of the fashion world. And when he releases his music, he will be platformed. People will still line up to buy Yeezys. He'll still get that paper no matter how low he stoops. In Walker's case, he got the MAGA activating endorsements of Trump. And he's getting even more cash and support from other Republicans. But what can be done? I think it's worthwhile and necessary to reward black men who are doing good in society with our attention, votes, and money when we can. Yeah, well, nobody comes here and congratulates me. Okay, nobody congratulates me. Nobody from the media has asked me, "Hey, you've got an 850. How did you do it? Let's do a 30-minute special where we teach other people how to do what you've achieved." I don't exist as far as they're concerned because I haven't done any like crime or violent shit. So I don't exist. Nobody comes and talks to me. Nobody interviews me. People ignore I've been given excellent stock picks while you've had idiots like, what's that guy's name? Nayib Bukele in El Salvador losing millions of dollars on Bitcoin. Nobody comes and talks to me. I was telling people stay away from the shit. I was telling people stay away from Reddit. Stay away from fucking GameStop. Stay away from those pump and dump schemes. I don't get any credit at all. I get none. So as far as I'm concerned, it's like this is all nonsense. So anyway, but no matter what happens, as long as our culture awards anti-blackness and misogyny, we will be sure to see more Wests and Walkers. It's a dark state of affairs. Let me tell you something, honey. You ain't seen nothing yet. It's just like, I'm really surprised you didn't mention Kevin Samuels right here. But the thing about it is, yeah, in fact, if I were you, I would have made Kevin Samuels Exhibit C, but I guess you didn't because he's dead now. So I'm surprised you didn't mention the Passport Bros, where we picked up where he left off. So anyway, Homefront, black men doing the right thing. The deeply corrosive thing about Walker and West is that the attention placed on their antics sucks up all the oxygen from the black male public figures who are pushing the culture and society forward rather than dragging us back. Here's a question. Name them. Because I haven't really seen much from black males pushing the culture forward. And please don't tell me Obama on fucking MSNBC hyping up people in Wisconsin. Please do not tell me that bullshit. Let's see. Ryan Coogler. Marvel has released the trailer for the long-awaited Black Panther. Is it? Okay. The movie is due for release on November 11th. The original Black Panther film, released in 2018, was not just the highest-grossing superhero film of all time. It also represented a real shift forward for Afrofuturism on screen. First of all, Wakanda don't exist. That's number one. Number two, if you really think about it, the design of that movie was nothing but racial stereotypes. First of all, if you're future Africans, right? Let's say we got Africans from the future. You know who's a future African? Afrofuturism? Captain Benjamin Sisko on Deep Space Nine. Not a bunch of people living in Africa who have spears and who have blankets that turn into shields and who herd rhinos. Why would you be herding rhinos? Are you getting milk out of the rhinos? You could no. You want to know Afrofuturism? Tuvok on Star Trek Voyager. That's Afrofuturism. Captain Benjamin Sisko. That's another one. Babylon 5, they had a number of blacks in the future, but they didn't really reference being African American because when you're in the future, being African or African American, it doesn't matter because you're in space and shit. You're on Mars or something. It doesn't matter if your people are from Africa. You're on Mars. That's Afrofuturism. You're talking about some people throwing spears, a bald-headed, what was her name? Umfufu or something, Ukoye or something, and she's got a spear. That, as far as I'm concerned, that wasn't Afrofuturism. That was basically fucking racist stereotypes. Like, I mean, Africans throwing spears, really? That it never crossed your... Never mind. I'm going to go off on a tangent. So, Washington Post got me. Okay, wait. Let me go back to where I was. Hold on. Just a second. So it says, yes, the South African comedian Trevor Noah. First of all, I hate The Daily Show. I used to watch The Daily Show when it had Jon Stewart on it. But Trevor Noah is nothing. You know what Trevor Noah is like? Trevor Noah is like a nonstop anti-conservative, anti-Republican gag reel. And he just keeps on going. Even Bill Maher has a little bit better of a balance because Bill Maher is really a libertarian who leans liberal. But I hate watching Trevor Noah. You're talking about sucking up air for Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah's show gets ratings. Whatever it gets, it got enough to keep him on there for the time he was on there. I hate watching that show. I don't watch that show. When I watch, say, Bill Maher, and then it goes off and Trevor Noah comes on, I turn off my television. So that's a horrible example. So obviously now she talks about Warnock, since Warnock is Herschel Walker's opponent. I'm going to just say this about Warnock, because again, this is not my fight. If his constituents are happy with how things are going, they'll vote for him. If they're not happy with how things are going, they won't vote for him. I have no idea what the real polls are. I have no idea who's going to win until the day after, because I keep saying the real recession begins on November 9th. Once these Democrats get knocked out of office, see, this what they're so scared of, you got to understand, like, you're looking at a big picture. The Democrats already know that if the Republicans win the House or the Senate or both, all of this January 6th rhetoric, all of this anti-Trump shit, all of this stuff that they've been bringing, all these bullshit files of indictments and this, that, and all that from New York, from Letitia James, They know that if the Republicans take the House or the Senate or both, they know all of this shit goes away. And they also know that they'll never have enough power to bring it back up later on. They also know if the Republicans get in there that all of these liberal agendas are over. So once again, I'm only one voter and I'm in a blue state. If the rest of this country is happy with the way the Democrats are running this country, then they'll vote for more Democrats. If the rest of this country is sick and fucking tired of paying $4 a gallon of gas, if the rest of this country is sick and fucking tired of going from the near peace that Trump was creating between America, Russia, and North Korea versus the brink of nuclear war that Biden has created, then the American people will vote for more Democrats. If they're not happy with the Democrats, they'll vote for the Republicans. And it's not my war. My war is here. The rest of this country has to decide who are they happy with and who are they not happy with, and then they'll vote that way. That's all it comes down to. See, when y'all talk about this cancel culture bullshit, that this shit that got started in these fucking schools, these liberal arts, fake degree, useless degree schools, when they start talking this cancel culture shit, what they seem to forget is the fact that this country is based on representative democracy. This country is not a democracy. It's based on a representative democracy. This country is a republic. This country's constitution guarantees a republic form of democracy. It guarantees that we elect people to represent us. If these people like Kanye West and they want to spend all of their fucking money on his sneakers and shit, I don't. I don't like Yeezy stuff. I don't like any of his clothes. I don't like the way any of it looks. I don't want to pay any of his prices. But if everybody else likes it, then that's their choice to go out and buy it. That's called representative democracy, in that you're voting with your money and you're upholding this person because you feel he represents you. I mean, I think he was running for public office. Now, granted, he ain't got a chance in hell, but then again, maybe he does. I don't know. But if the people want somebody, they have every right to take that person and uplift them until they become a representative. That's how it works. See, y'all don't seem to get that. Y'all don't seem to understand if these people like Donald Trump, they're going to vote for Donald Trump and he becomes their leader and yours. So if you lose that electoral college, then that's just what it is. People didn't show up for Hillary because they didn't care about her. They were not loyal to her. Many of them felt she stole the election from Bernie Sanders, despite the fact he never had a fucking chance of winning. And that's just it. So they said, okay, I'm not supporting her. And then she lost. And that's it. Oh, woe is us, Trump won. Yeah, well, keep on crying because you never know what's going to happen in 2024, ladies. All right, so anyway, for the culture, a black father's love icon. What the fuck is this? After his son Derek injured himself. What am I reading right now? Somebody, Jim Redmond. What is this? Okay, I guess the story actually ends right here, I guess. Oh, no, wait. Okay, no. Okay, I see what it is. Chugging along on the positivity train here. For anyone who needs a master class in love, check out this Olympia clip. Okay, I guess that has nothing to do with it, but for some reason that's mixed in here. It says, do you have any questions, comments, tips, recipes, poems, praise, or critiques for me? Submit them here. I do read every submission and may include yours in a future version of the newsletter. Opinion by KAREN ATTIAH. Okay, so there's your opinion. Congratulations. Well, bottom line, let me see this. Languages spoken Spanish in addition to English. Okay. Books by KAREN ATTIAH. Let's see. Something about essence. I don't really feel like reading all this because I really don't care, honestly. Education, Northwest University, BA in Communication Studies, minor in African Studies, Columbia University, Master's in Okay, yeah, that's all great. Everything your opinion is well taken, but the reality is, I don't know what's going to happen in this election. But if Herschel Walker wins, then so be it. His constituents have every right to support him, regardless your black toxic culture, masculinity, toxic masculinity, regardless of all that bullshit. That bullshit. See, that, unfortunately, I had to sit through these liberal arts colleges. I had to sit through that shit. So I know what it's like. The problem is once a man is like 30, you can't change what his brain says anymore. You can't change someone's indoctrination, especially a man once he's in his 30s. So I sat there and I listened to these teachers and I had to regurgitate all the shit that they were saying. I had to write these papers. And I'm a very good writer. I can turn out 10, 20, 30 pages in no time. Like a lot of these people who go to these schools, it's like I went to school, I graduated basically top of my class, summa cum laude. I had a 4.0 average. Both of my graduate degrees, I had a 4.0 average. I graduated basically top of my class. And I know somebody say, oh, yeah, well, you got to prove it. You got to, if I really had to, I could easily print out one of these fucking transcripts and I could show it to you. I graduated top of my class. Now, the bottom line is, you're not allowed to be there and call this shit out for what it is. It's I see techno-fascism going on with this cancel culture. I see various forms of fascism going on with this cancel culture. I see various forms of it. That's why I keep on recommending people listen to the Patrice O'Neal special where he is on YouTube. It's called Patrice O'Neal Tells the Truth About Hollywood. Once you understand that, you pretty much understand exactly what you're dealing with. But the reality is, these people who make these opinions, these people who try to castigate people like Walker, people like Kanye, the reality is they haven't really done anything. They haven't contributed anything. They haven't done anything. All they are is just talking heads. So I take them with a grain of salt. I just take their opinions with a grain of salt. I take everything they say with a grain of salt. I could care less, honestly. I only really responded to this because I just felt like making some content. Because I've got this brand new iPhone 14, 1 terabyte. Hey, I got plenty of storage space, don't I? So, it doesn't even matter how long I talk. But I said what I pretty much felt like saying. And that's basically it. I'm waiting to see what happens during the election. I will be happy if Herschel Walker wins. That's it. I see Kanye West is back on Twitter, and now you got people attacking Elon Musk. Oh, yeah, well, how could you let him back on? And then Elon sends out a tweet. He says, listen, I took over this place, and they had already reinstated him. Whether that's true or not, I really don't care. But the point is, I'm not a Kanye follower. I'm not a Kanye supporter. I have never given him a dime of my money. However, I respect and I not really appreciate, but I do respect and I do, as an American, uphold his right to be fucked up. Now, I totally disagree with just about every choice he's made. I would have never married Kim Kardashian. After you show me a videotape on the internet of a woman getting pumped by Ray J, there's no way in hell. I wouldn't even talk to her. I don't care what she looks like. I wouldn't even talk to her. I wouldn't ask her anything. I wouldn't give her the time of day. But this guy decided that he was going to do that. So I haven't really, how should I say, I haven't followed him. I haven't really respected him as a man like that since that. Like, there's no way in hell. Kim Kardashian, no way in hell. No way. He, however, had a different idea. He went after it, and now he's getting his just desserts. You know what they say, a fool and his money is soon parted. That's an old saying. So my thing is, as an American, I don't believe in that cancel culture shit. As far as I'm concerned, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. Congress shall make no law. However, these private corporations have ganged up on them, and they've become techno-fascist at this point. And they've all gotten together to say, oh, yeah, well, we're not going to be his friend. He's not invited to our party. He can't come to our clubhouse. Meanwhile, Reverend Elon Musk got up and said, yo, fuck all that shit. Yeah, Kanye, your Twitter's back on. And that's what it is. That's what it is. So even though, like, some people don't understand my personal politics, as far as I'm concerned, Elon Musk and Tesla, they make the shittiest car interiors I've ever fucking seen. However, I still own Tesla stock. I'm still a Tesla shareholder. I've still been in Tesla since 2012. So just because I disagree with him making shitty car interiors and I decided to take my money to Cadillac to build me an electric Lyriq, that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't see that Elon Musk has his positives. Like, I've accused Elon Musk of being a welfare baby from fucking corporate welfare. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't still see his positives. And as far as I'm concerned right now, Elon Musk is kicking ass and taking names. So if Kanye West is one of those people who he's uplifted, if Donald Trump is put back on Twitter thanks to Elon Musk, that's just what it is. If you don't like it, you have the freedom to not be on it. So there's a whole lot of these snowflakes. Oh, yeah, well, if Elon Musk is letting Trump and Kanye back on Twitter, I'm getting off. Log off. Nobody told you got to be there. If you feel that strongly about it, log off. That's it. That's it. That's how this works. And I understand that a lot of you have grown up and it hasn't worked that way in front of you and you haven't seen the way it's supposed to work because we've been living under techno-fascism and we've been living under runaway liberalism and leftist liberal policies. But let me tell you something. The Supreme Court woke these people up. The Supreme Court gave my state and is still giving my state back its Second Amendment rights. The Supreme Court said, excuse me, Roe versus Wade is not a right. Paper or plastic, sir. That's it. If you want Roe versus Wade to be a right, then you're going to have to do it the right way. You're going to have a constitutional convention, not this bullshit ad hoc law. You don't get to take things that aren't rights and pretend that they are until everybody thinks that they are, and then they try to live that way. That's not how this works. If you want to change the laws, you have to have a constitutional convention. That's it. So my thing is, it's like I think we've gotten so off track. I think it's time to get back on track. So you can tell me how you feel about it. This is just my opinion, and my opinion is worth whatever it's worth. But you tell me how you feel about it. I think it's time for things to get back on track.